One question I have for you. So obviously you love the outdoors. You're running all the time. You're doing the Ironmans. You're doing triathlons. You're doing everything. Do you think that has contributed to your success in real estate? You know, real estate, obviously real estate's a difficult game, right? It can be super fun, it can be hard. How have you built your business over, say, the time? Because obviously you said you got here, it was challenging at first, you were kind of lost. How did you find that kind of path and continue to grow your business, so to speak, here in Calgary, and why haven't you left?
Anyway, I mean, that's a funny story, yeah. So I was born to sell real estate.
Yeah, exactly. And then you told me when I first met you, I was born to sell luxury real estate.
Ben was.
Yeah.
Oh, you've always had.
Is that also helped you in your focus and your consistency in real estate? Because I know I've never seen anybody more consistent than you in real estate, no matter what's going on.
2008 was a complete disaster for me in sort of my real estate, and I tried to apply the principles I had known and was doing in sport to real estate, and that worked.
Really?
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to the Howard Team Podcast, where we're doing a segment called Meet the Team. And today, the guest of the show is Bryon Howard. Bryon, how are you?
I'm great, and thanks for having me on the show, Ben.
That's good. Well, thanks for being on here. I'm excited to learn more about you so that the audience can know who you are and what's behind the scenes of the suit and tie.
Well, thank you. There's no tie, Ben.
Well, Bryon, so give me the elevator pitch. Who is Bryon Howard?
The elevator pitch. It's a while since I worked on that one. Ben, I enjoy the playground of Calgary, and I sell a lot of real estate.
You like the playground of Calgary because you're a big outdoors person, right?
Calgary is a great place to be as an outdoors person, I think.
100%. Yeah, one thing that you might not know about Bryon is he is incredibly active. Bryon, what are some of the activities that you like to do on your off time?
Well, actually, just this morning, I was had a great swim in the pool, and we were having a great conversation in the steam room, kind of with like 5 guys, and we were having some fun talking about tattoos and stuff. And then my good buddy Matt was leaving, and he said to me, and I said, "Matt, you're so quick this morning," because I usually like to walk out the door with him into the fresh air after a good swim. And then he said, I said, "You're so quick this morning." And he said, "Well, Bryon, I actually have to drive and go to work, whereas you already started your job." Because we were talking real estate and mortgages and the rate adjustment today. And so, I was well on my way to work, like at 6 a.m. before I even hit the first lap of the pool. Okay. So, did that answer your question? That's one of the things I like to do. And with our job, Ben, it's like we can work from anywhere. And it's just a matter of talking to people and talking about, real estate, which is an easy conversation to have, well, I guess anywhere in the world, but especially Calgary.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, it's all about who you talk to, the connections you make, and I guess it's the more people you talk to, you're working. That is what we do.
And so you said the off time, right? But on the when I'm not showing a house or preparing a house for sale or something, with potential sellers and stuff. Yeah, I love to be active, especially in the outdoors. And typically I love to run, bike, and swim because it's just so easy from our door in Calgary. But then I love skiing and all forms of skiing. Whether I think my deep in my heart, I love to cross country ski, and I know I'm going to do it at 95 years old. I just know it.
Is that right?
And I also like backcountry. I like alpine skiing.
Get out.
Snowboarding. I like it all.
One question I have for you. So obviously you love the outdoors. You're running all the time. You're doing the Ironmans. You're doing triathlons. You're doing everything. Do you think that has contributed to your success in real estate?
I would say it has. That as the team recently, excuse me, just before Christmas, we all did our Gallup strength. And so we did this team building, what are the strengths of each of the individuals on the team. And I'm a little bit surprised to find out that my number one strength was focus. And then, because I actually think that, probably have attention deficit disorder.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't.
As most realtors.
Probably as most realtors, we joked before. But anyway, number one focus is a number one strength is focus. And of course, having a strong, that's a strength. But also with any strength, there's weaknesses involved.
Totally.
So yeah, I mean, I'm very focused, and I think that like the in terms of stability or creating structure in my life, triathlon, run, bike, swim, has given me the opportunity to stay active and keep my body moving in different ways that add strength and. I would say 100% it helps me in my business
100%.
To get away from the sort of the grind of real estate, which it can be at times, and just focus on something different.
Yeah, you bet. And now I've heard you say before that real estate, obviously real estate's a difficult game, right? It can be super fun, can be hard. Now I know from hearing you talk a lot about triathlons and the biking and the running and all these things where you're pushing your body to the max, you always have that point in the run or the triathlon that you have to push through, right? That you have to break through that mental barrier, because I've never heard somebody say doing an Ironman is fun. it's pushing yourself to the max, doing what you can do. Is that also helped you in your focus and your consistency in real estate? Because I know I've never seen anybody more consistent than you in real estate, no matter what's going on. You can always push through and you can do it. Do you think you've learned a lot of that from the triathlons and all the activities you do? Or do you think you basically have been able to take that from real estate and move it into that? Like, what came first?
Yeah, great question. I guess like starting in real estate, like in the early 2000s, so more than 20 years ago, I was already doing sport, amateur sport, age group type athletics, and doing that at a reasonably high level. Because I had that focus. I've always had that strength of focus, and then like a lot of realtors getting into the business, it was tough those first few years, and especially then, I think the industry was way more cutthroat and competitive and not that helpful. And getting information was not as easy as it is today. Meaning people are willing to coach you, and you can pay for coaching, and lots of coaching is free.
And you didn't have Google Maps back then. I don't know how you did it.
Exactly. So I was having success in sport, as a sort of age group athlete kind of success. And I asked myself, why can't I do this in business? Because I was just like, the typical realtor, not knowing what the hell to do when I woke up in the morning. So then, I did actually ask myself that question, and I tried to apply the principles I had known and was doing in sport to real estate, and that worked.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding. And I know you mentioned, so you got into real estate 2003, 2005, right?
Really 2001.
Or
2003, my family, my wife and I and kids moved to Calgary, from the East Coast.
So were you doing real estate in the East Coast then?
I was.
Really?
Just for a year prior. I was running an adventure tourism business, and had done that for 10 years. And then sort of, as a typical entrepreneur, what else can I do? Maybe losing focus. And I got into real estate more as an investor, but then thought, I need to get my real estate license so I can find all the deals, which didn't work.
It never does. Now, you were in real estate in PEI. Okay, so you were doing real estate there for a year. Why did you leave PEI and come to Calgary?
We came for the Alberta advantage. So in the early 2000s, Alberta certainly was the province in Canada, and I think still is today, that had a lot of advantages, taxes. But the primary reason was the schools. We moved to Alberta for Calgary Academy, actually, for our oldest daughter.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And so it specifically was the school that was the top rated, and that's why you came to Calgary.
Yeah.
And now obviously you've been here for 20 years. How have you built your business over, say, the time? Because obviously you said you got here, it was challenging at first, you were kind of lost. How did you find that kind of path and continue to grow your business, so to speak, here in Calgary, and why haven't you left?
Yeah, so we moved to Calgary for the Alberta advantage. I often joke we moved to Calgary for the mountains and the schools, actually. And no, I joke. We moved to Calgary for the Alberta Advantage and the schools, really, and for the kids and for the schools. And we're staying for the mountains and the outdoor opportunities. How did I build the business? So I actually came and I was very fortunate to land into a building in Crescent Heights where we had a subsidized rent, and in exchange for kind of general managing the renovation of an apartment building into a condo complex.
Wow.
And so I was doing that and managing trades. And then that we got the work done. We converted it from apartments into condos and made it beautiful, like all renovated, all the units.
Yeah.
And then I got to sell those 16 units.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of a jump start into the real estate and in Calgary. And
So you didn't kick off selling real estate.
well, actually, I had a job when we packed up our van and moved from the East Coast to here.
Yeah.
And I had a job, I was supposed to be managing a real estate office, which was a far stretch for me. And by the time the 5-6 days driving across the country, the job got nixed, and they're like, we don't want this rural guy selling condos. I didn't know what a condo was, actually, or
Really?
selling property and managing a real estate office. No, when I moved from Prince Edward Island, I had no idea what a condo was. We didn't have them in Prince Edward Island at the time. Anyway, I mean, that's a funny story, yeah. So, we came and we just kind of made it work.
Yeah, you just you had a back against the wall and you had to kind of push forward, eh?
Yep. And we started that out, and then realized that we were doing that, and I was looking for probably opportunities. Actually, I was thinking in the medicine field or healthcare, and more like sales opportunities or oil and gas. And I was already 37 years old when we moved here, and just doing that condo project and selling a few properties already in the first year of being in Calgary, breaking into a job with a paycheck, even in oil and gas, with my skill level and at my age was really difficult.
Yeah.
And the wage was not as much as I was already earning in real estate, even though I wasn't, earning that much. But so that was a struggle. And then I had one person that I met, another realtor, who actually introduced me to some scripts and dialogues, and actually the Mike Ferry system.
That's what changed the game for
And
you.
it didn't change it immediately because I couldn't afford the coaching, or thought I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I was learning the stuff on my own.
Yeah.
And then finally, it's it was 2 years after we arrived in Calgary where, I really started to figure out the real estate, sales, how to do it.
Yeah.
And then hired my first coach. And, from there, at the same time, we had my first Calgary boom hit, the end of 2005.
Yeah.
So I've just been here two years and a bit. And of course, the boom, we just all thought we were brilliant and amazing salespeople. And that first boom. And
By year 6, you hit the financial crisis.
yeah, and it wasn't long after. You're right, year 6, 2009, end of 2008. Financial crisis hit hard. And I just spent 2008, which was a good year, training hard for Ironman. And
Is that right?
he did well in Ironman Canada, and then went to the World Championships in October. So 2008 was a complete disaster for me in sort of my real estate, real estate background. Looking back, sales were good, but the whole there's another podcast story there about what happened in 2008 and the market turning. I knew it was turning, but I was so focused on Ironman training, I didn't really pay attention. I had already owned quite a few investment properties, which caused a lot of grief for myself for years after.
At the time, you said that you were buying tons and tons of properties just for yourself as investments. And then all of a sudden the financial crisis hit, right? Everything crashed. And that's when you kind of had to be good at real estate. You had to know how to sell. You knew you had to do this on top of all these other properties because you were holding so much debt. Now, how did you kind of get through that? Was that learning how to do it? Was that the Mike Ferry system? Was that partially your Ironman trading? How did you, for lack of a better term, stay sane in that amount of stress?
Yeah, that's a great story. And I think of three things. So yeah, again, I got into real estate sales. I got into it because I wanted to be a real estate investor.
Yeah.
So when we moved from the East Coast to Alberta, I was like, okay, I will do real estate sales to make a living, but I was convinced that I needed to do real estate investing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was buying aggressively properties in Alberta. That was the day when you can assume mortgages. So it wasn't, and the market was increasing so much, family, friends thought you were brilliant. I thought I was brilliant.
Yeah.
And so I would get money from family and friends to invest in real estate. And all kinds of crazy deals. And then the subprime lenders were out there offering, goofballs like myself, financing with ease. And I was saying yes to that in 2007. So the very peak of the market, these B lenders. Yeah. And then in Canada, there wasn't a lot of people that took advantage of that, but I was one of them. And so then the market changed the end of 2008, 2009. And so all those mortgages I had got with the B lenders, after 2 years, they wanted their money back. Give us our money back. I bought the property, for example, in Forest Lawn for $330,000, and then it was worth $250,000, and so the mortgage was still like $280 or something. Some crazy, even $300. Yeah. And so I had a lot of that happen in 2009. And so, how did you ask? What kept me focused? Well, actually, it was. During that boom, I paid for some coaching, not only Mike Ferry coaching, who was teaching me to sell real estate at a good level, but also Les Hewitt, Power of Focus. He has a book, great book. I did a 2-year program with him through maybe 2006, 7, maybe finished in 8. And that Power of Focus really helped me. You still see today, I do the 7-day focus, usually on Sunday evenings, where I plan my week, the next 7 days. And so I had the Mike Ferry coaching by this time. I had the Power of Focus. I knew how to structure a week, a month, and I had the sales skills. So 2009 through to basically the next boom of 2013, I learned to sell real estate at a high level to pay for all those bad debts.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And so so you went through all that. You had all this coaching that kind of helped you out. Obviously, I'm sure you were still running and doing everything like that.
And that helped as well. Yeah, really during that time.
I've noticed exercising. You really have to exercise to help with your mental strength.
I mean, like
most no people,
I think most people probably need to exercise 3 or 4 times a week for at least an hour. Yeah. And lots of people probably have to exercise for 6 days a week for at least an hour. Well, I really need pretty much 7 days a week for at least an hour. And then if I just pump it up to maybe 10 or 12 hours a week, I can have a lot more fun.
Yeah, you can really push through.
Yeah.
And so that's what got you through. You learned to sell real estate at a high level. Now fast forward 5 years. Now you're in 2013 into the next boom. Now at this point, correct me if I'm wrong, obviously you had your family here in Calgary, your daughter, Jacob, you had Shirley. Around that time, I think Jacob was starting to get into real estate as well, right?
He was,
as the cold calling and things like that?
Yeah, he was helping me out.
Now, how was that, having the family involved, the duo, having that work-life balance? How'd that all play out?
Oh, it was fun. I mean, I kind of treated both kids, did some work for me those years.
Is that right?
And I treat them pretty much like employees, and just I was very focused still. Yeah. Finally, in 2013, we sort of got rid of all our debt, and then we were or my debt really, and then still owned a number of properties. We're able to keep some, and they it's fun to have the family. Family's always been really important to me, and we continued to have good times as a family, and our times together, and it was fun to have them both involved in the business at various points. Certainly, daughter Robin wasn't as keen on it, but did help me. 1 year in the office all summer job. And it was great to have her and. She still offers advice and pointers today. So does Jacob. Yeah.
Family business. How was it? Just on a side note, how was it having the family involved? Because obviously I know family's huge to you. It's one of the number one things. And how was it having the kids want to be involved in the, so to speak, family company?
Well, I mean, I never put a lot into it. I mean,
because Jake was there for 10 years, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, helping outside, on the side, on and off, and whenever he did it, especially as a teenager into his maybe early 20s, he was extremely good at it and pumped about it because he saw real estate as a way to create wealth and
make money.
And he had visions on lifestyle and Lamborghinis and that kind of stuff. But so he was excited to learn and see what kind of results he could get. In helping me kind of mostly setting appointments and stuff over the phone. I mean, it was I don't think like anyone, like as a young person especially, dream of becoming a real estate agent. Like it doesn't really happen.
It's not like a cop or a doctor.
And while I thought that I've really enjoyed the career and I think it's a great career and a great occupation for almost anyone. It's I didn't necessarily need my kids to go down that road. So I was happy that they were both involved and kind of thought that it was a good opportunity for them. And at this point, neither one of them are choosing to, dig in, although Jacob's still in real estate, but just doing something on a different side. But
that's the fun part about real estate. There's like 12 avenues you can run with it.
There's 12? Like, I don't know. There's a lot.
Well,
why 12?
Well, there's like the development side. There's like the leasing side. There's the building, the building side. There's so many things you can do with it.
Financing,
But it's funny that we mentioned that nobody dreams about being a realtor.
No.
Because there's once in a while I'll see like an agent out there be like, oh, real estate's in my blood, and like the whole family lineage has been realtors. I'm like, I wonder if this was the person that dreamed of being a realtor.
Right. I think it's a nice thing to say, but actually Jacob used to joke, I was born to sell real estate.
Yeah, exactly. And then you told me when I first met you, I was born to sell luxury real estate.
Ben was. Oh, you've always had a real interest in luxury, which is
it is
awesome.
It's I don't know. The thing about real estate, every day is different. Every product's different. Every situation's different. Now take that as it has its pros and cons, having that. But now as you've moved through the business, so obviously you had the crisis of '08. You had 2013 when things were booming again. And then you had another crash, like not 2 years after that or a year after that. Now, obviously, you've had a lot of variations of the team. You've gone through a lot as you've kind of proceeded, throughout the business. Now, how has that progression been? And, like, did you ever see yourself where you are today, like building a team, where you were, say, back in 2013? Because I know when I met you back in 2020.
2019 we met.
Okay, yeah, 2019. When we met back then, you were at this point, you were like, I don't want a team. You're like, I'm solo. I'm just like, I want to just cruise and that's it.
Interesting. I mean, I kind of forget the rent. Like when I started selling real estate, I mean, even back, say, 2003 when we moved to Calgary, I created the website called thehowardteam.net. Regrettably .net as opposed to .com, but that's what happened. .net's not so bad. But in any case, I always think of even solo agent, I always had a team, meaning I had my lawyer, my preferred mortgage broker, my preferred inspector, hopefully an assistant. Not always an assistant, but now always an assistant, but for years not. So, I always thought like it is a team business. And I guess I got, for at least now probably 12 years, I've said somewhat a form of a team. There was we met in 2020, so it was in COVID,
it was right after COVID.
It was right after COVID started, yes. Okay,
so
when COVID started, I thought about going, like, we moved from an office that we had in Myrtle Loop, and we were doing something else, and I thought about going to that sort of individual agent, kind of custom luxury kind of a la carte thing where you did everything for the client. And paperwork, gifting, everything. And I tried that for about a month, and I was like, no, I cannot do this. So and that would have actually, if I had gone down that road, I mean, and in COVID, like a lot of people, I thought about leaving the career and the occupation, and I did actually explore some other things in the outdoors, opportunities that I used to do when I was younger, and then I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this solo, I cannot do this job. Like it's just there's too many hats to wear, there's too many things to do, and so then
because you had a property management company at one point, didn't you?
At one point, just before COVID, a couple of years prior to that, and. So then, the way, the form of the team that we have right now is magic. Like it is awesome in that we have a great and mid team, and we have you highly motivated, and my wife Shirley, who comes and goes, and
You're the mentor of
brings some
everybody.
people, and then a couple other agents, Cole and Tekin now.
Well,
it's awesome.
I think the thing too is like when we first started together back in, we're in that Marta Loop office or in Altador. It's cool kind of seeing the progression over the years because it's been 5 years or so now, and we went from like just you and I in like an 8x8 space making dials.
And we had no admin at that time either.
No, we didn't.
You were the admin.
Yeah. Well,
and I was so happy that you were like, give it to me. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it to you. But at one point I'm like, Ben, you can't do this. If you're going to be a salesperson, you can't do admin.
You know what's funny? The other day, I was like, I told my wife, I was like, I had like some sort of, for whatever reason, I had like a nightmare. And I was like, woke up just in like in a panic thinking that we didn't have an assistant anymore. I was just like, it would change the game. Because we did all of the admin ourselves. We did all of the listings.
You did it.
Well, yeah, we did. I did the listings, the contracts. We had a couple assistants like overseas for a while, and those didn't work out. But it was like you were working 24/7, right? Like that's just the way it was. But now all of a sudden that we have our admin team, because you and I think you can attest to this. We're not the most organized people on the block.
Well, in order to be like a salesperson in real estate, I mean, you got to let a few things go.
Exactly.
And you need to have admin to like help you stay focused and do the things that, I mean, it's just like you just don't want to do. It's just there's better things to do with your time as a salesperson.
Well, like you and I, all we do now is kind of like prospect and talk to the clients and go on appointments. Like that's all. Like to be honest with you, that's all I really do now because Beth and Nicole, they take care of everything, right? And I always joke with clients about this. I was like, oh yeah, they keep me organized,
well, 100%.
right? Because it's true.
Yeah.
Right, and I would be kind of starstruck to see where we were without them. But now where we are today, you say it's like the dream type team, right? Is this like where we have the team today? Are you expecting to keep it in this type of situation, or I don't expect so? But do you expect like build a major team?
Do you know, Ben? I had a dream. I actually, to be completely honest, this is 2 nights ago. Yeah. I don't remember my dreams. So I'm not sure it was a dream. I might have been just rolling around in bed awake.
Yeah.
But I thought about coaching again. Currently, I don't have a coach, and I've mostly had a coach for the last 20 years, sometimes 2. And I thought about where we're at, the status we're at as a team, as myself in life, and I feel like a little bit complacent. Yeah. And so I'm just really, really happy with our existing structure and how it's looking. But yesterday I called past client. You remember her, Andrea Zielinski, Rosedale seller, found a great husband and moved to Toronto.
Oh yeah.
And I just happened to calling past clients, as you know I do. And she told me, and I knew somewhat she was a coach. She said, "I'm a high performance coach." And I said, "A high performance coach sounds like I should be your participant. I'm a high performance guy." And anyway, we had a conversation. And she said, well, and I said, I'm kind of interested in maybe thinking about coaching. I told her about my dream, like the night prior, that I was wondering, should I be in coaching, or am I because am I too complacent? Yeah. And so we had a discussion, and I don't know, like I'm real happy about the structure right now.
Well, it's so easy.
But I'm wondering what you're interested in. How would you like to see the team grow? Like, where are you at?
Well, to be honest with you, I kind of love the way it is right now.
Yeah.
Because it's taken us 5 years to get here and a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
But the database we have, it's amazing. It works. The, admin team we have is great. Like everything, it's kind of like a well-oiled machine at this point. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, like we are probably the busiest we've ever been listing-wise, right? I don't know if we would be able to carry the amount of listings we have right now and be like as organized as we are if we didn't have the systems we have right now. Like I consistently think of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'd be able to. We'd be a burning
train wreck. Of course we
wreck.
wouldn't be able to. No, it's the systems that are
right.
And the team that's in place. It's able to do that. So with ease, and it's great.
100%. Now, obviously, so we talked about the team. We talked about your whole kind of lineage in real estate. What do you do? Now, speak directly to the clients, kind of to finish off here. What is something that they can expect from you, or what is something that, maybe is unique about you that most people don't know about?
well, what they can expect. I don't know if there's anything unique about me. I don't think I'm particularly unique.
Yeah.
But you know, in terms of expectations, you know, we're a group, we're a team.
Yeah.
Personally, I think led by me is about you know, we do what we say we're going to do.
Yeah.
And so we give a seller a plan or a buyer a plan,
Yeah.
and we commit to that plan and we implement. And you know, when we do that, I mean, and we do that most of the time.
Yeah.
And then I think that people can expect from us, from me, when it's not going to happen, when we don't execute the way we say we're going to execute, we'll call and we'll let the people know that, hey, you know, I said I was going to do this. It's not happening by, you know, that day or today, or and I'm recommitting to do it by X day, or sorry, I'm not doing it. Like I changed my mind. If that would be the case, I mean, that's not really the case most cases, but yeah, we're. What is the word for that? Is it? It's not authentic. Matt Ferry, Mike Ferry's son, talked to me about this years and years ago about you know, the definition of, and I've talked to you about this word. It's not. I'm just drawing a blank on me right now. It's not. The word's not authentic, but it's
not complacency.
No, it's yeah, it starts with C.
Let's
leave that word alone.
We'll
for
leave
now.
it at that.
But yeah, it's just, you know, doing what you say you'll do, and if you're not going to do it, you contact the person and and, you know, if you're not able to do it or you decide you can't do it for whatever reason, you give the reason why or whatever. Integrity. That's it.
There
The
we
definition
go.
of it is integrity. It doesn't start with C.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, kind of sounds like it, but
Integrity. Yeah.
No
It's
kidding.
integrity. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think people can expect integrity from our team.
Yeah, and and so obviously, you know, to finish off here, we've gone kind of through the entire lineage. Where do you see yourself in, say, 5 years or in 10 years? Like, where do you see the team? Obviously, the Howard team is going to be around for a long
I
time.
love it, Ben.
Right? But where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years. So actually, I mean, I'll try to be brief. Shirley and I just, in the last 6 months, we decided we were going to leave Calgary for a year, and we were going to go travel for a year, and we were going to leave in November of 2026 and go for a year somewhere, like do something. Like it was probably going to involve Europe, maybe South America, probably South America. And then my daughter said, hey, you know, why don't you guys move it up a year, bump it up a year? Because, you know, life happens and things happen and, you know, things don't get done. Just bump it up a year.
Yeah.
We're like, great idea. So all of a sudden we were leaving in October of this year, 2025.
For a year?
We were doing this. And then we were like, this is going to be great. This is what we're going to do. And then we thought, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? And first thought, what about Rue, our dog? And then we realized we don't want to do that. We love our lives in Calgary.
Yeah, I
and
get
so, so that's not happening. We're not leaving Calgary for a year because we love it here and we love our friends and we love our activities.
Yeah.
And so in 5 years, I suspect, you know, I'll be hopefully still enjoying a bit of travel and adventuring on my bicycle and, you know, kite surfing and, you know, with family, and, you know, going places for experiences. Yeah, hopefully I'll still have that interest to do that, like, you know, once every couple of months or 3 months or something for a week. I suspect life will look very much like it does today. And then how, you know, and as long as the business and our systems as a team are working as well as they are, I don't see any real reason to, like, see change a lot. So that's kind of the vision I have.
It's like a well-oiled machine right now. Just
well-oiled
chugging
machine.
along.
Life is good. You know, we can work hard when we're working hard, and we can take time off with ease when we're taking time off.
100%.
And and work is fun. It's, you know, it's great being able to be in this profession and help people get what they want in, you know, real estate. And real estate's a fun game.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. Well, hey, Bryon, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me on the show, Ben.
Yeah, you bet. Hopefully people have a better understanding of who Bryon Howard is now. And, yeah, obviously, if you're looking to buy and sell, give us a call. We're both here.
Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, hit that subscribe button.
Like.
Yeah, there we go. See, he's trained. I'm not. Hit that subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching.